give a piss about nothing but the time. Flip, Bama, flip.
Give me Alabama to break.
If somebody takes what's yours, and this is our game, it's our time, and there's the guy trying to take it from us, so that makes this shit personal.
Boom, let's make it personal. We ain't here tonight, guys. I'm JT, your host. We got a locked-in panel with us, too, followed up with JB, Herb on the ones and twos, and right below me, that man Damo joining us permanently, guys, as well, guys. Joining us permanently. And if you see at the top right over there, guys, we got a special guest with us tonight. Chat, make sure y'all give it up for my man, the Alabama commit offensive tackle, Bear. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm excited to be here.
That's what's up, man. We excited you're here too, man. Got a fun show in store. Got a lot of stuff lined up, guys. Going to do a quick agenda rundown. Before we do that, guys, this video is sponsored by Whitwell Sports. Title Towel. Make sure you guys hit them up right there at the bottom today. WhitwellSports.com, guys. Today's the show is going to introduce Bear. We're going to talk with some Bear. We're going to get some, and no, it's no relation to Bear Bryant, guys. I know somebody had said something that on one of the videos. No relation to Bear Bryant, but that man's blocking, though. That man's looking good out there. So we're going to talk some questions and answer with him. We're going to give you some Jam Miller injury, kind of talk that, how we're looking right now. What's next for the Tide with that? Perfect timing for Ty. What does that mean with how they announced it, the timing they did it? They could have done this a month ago. Why did they have to do it last week? I think it's perfect timing. Also, guys, we're going to look at depth at the wide receiver and defensive back position because Alabama is one of the deepest in the country at that. And it's perfect time to talk about depth because we just lost our starting running back before the season even started. So you see how quick things can happen. We're kicking it off tonight, guys. I'm JT. We're going to go straight into it, and I'm going to let JB kick us off with our special guest. Go ahead, JB.
I'm on mute. All right, so here we go. Kicking it off with Alabama commit Bear Fretwell, man. So first of all, Bear, tell the people a little bit about yourself before we get going.
Yeah, man. I got my first offer 4 months ago. Everything started real quick. Then it came, committed to Georgia Tech. I had the opportunity to flip to Bama. So, obviously I made that decision, just felt best for me. But, looking back, I've been a homeschool kid my whole life. Came into school last year, not very much experience with football until about 2 years ago. And, I started playing the sport because that's what my brother did. All of a sudden I grew about 7 inches in 6 months, and it just everything from there shot up. So I reclassed 2 years ago. So I skipped my sophomore. So I had a freshman, then a junior season. It's my senior season. So, everything's really gone quick for me. But, with that Bama offer, it wasn't too hard of a decision to flip.
Okay, well, I got a question for you. So It says you're 6'7", 290 pounds. You're a senior in high school right now. What was the main reason, besides the Bama name and, the script A, what was the main reason you flipped from Georgia Tech to Alabama?
Really, if you just, look up the stats between Georgia Tech and Alabama, that's one reason of and of itself. You look at how many offensive linemen, Alabama's produced. It just really, that's what it shows. Really, whenever you're the type of kid who wants to make it to the highest level of football, which is me, I want to take my game to the highest level possible. So if I want to go to the NFL and Alabama is the, best opportunity to put me there, why not take that opportunity? Especially with there's a bunch of people who are like, if you go to Bama, you're not going to play for at least 3 years, right? Sometimes you gotta bet on yourself, and that's what I did in this situation. So
I like it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm loving the betting on yourself mentality right there, dog, because iron sharpens iron, bro.
For sure. When you're going to a school and everybody there 4 or 5 star commit, that's what you want. You want to have the best competition day in and day out. So it's nothing new when you go to the NFL.
I like that, bro. I like that. It's one of those things that when you word it like that and look at it like that, you look at where it's a cow and a buffalo, and you might laugh at that. But when a storm comes, a cow will run across the field with the storm making it longer, and it makes the storm longer. But a buffalo will run to it to get through it, to get it quicker. I think doing something like that, and that to lure that analogy back, going to Bama is like going to face a storm. You want to go to the best, you want to play the best, you want to practice with the best. So when you go to the game, it's easy.
Yeah.
I like that. Damo, what you got for our man tonight?
Well, for one, I just want to say, man, we glad to have you, okay, with this class right here.
Yeah.
And listen, if you can play, you're gonna play, okay? So that's it to that. And so really my only question is, so when you flip to Bama, did you hear from any players that are currently in the recruiting class already?
Yeah, for sure. That played a big part in it. Even before I was committed to Alabama, it felt like a family. I had a lot of the current players and a lot of the commits. So I had Jet reach out to me. Caden Proctor reached out. He was a big part of that. So he just like a family there. And it's like you don't have to, believe before you belong. It's just that type of situation. So I had a lot of the coaching staff reach out to me. I actually have these letters right here. Out to me. So it's very special to me. But yeah, it was very like they believe in me and they show that too. But yeah, a big part of it was all their players reaching out to me. A lot of phone calls, just letting me know that I'm wanted there. So that definitely played a big part into it. And if I'm going to, if I'm going to go to Alabama for 4 to 5 years, I want to love the people that I'm playing with, and that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
Was those letters all Bama, right?
Yeah, it was. It was all the it was a whole offensive stuff that's in the letter.
That's dope. That's dope because then, like you just said, it's something you hold close to you. That's something that's definitely getting put in the scrapbook, some memorabilia, something like that. So
most definitely.
Yeah, I get that. Damo, do you have anything else, bro?
No, that's all I got right there, bro. Again, I'm glad to have you, bro. Glad to have you on
yes, sir. For sure.
Definitely.
Herb, you want to go? You want me to round us off? What do you want to do?
No, I'll go real quick, but Justin did want to say hello to you real quick, and comment that's the boss of the network.
Like Bear, you gotta have a deep voice, baby.
Yeah,
yes,
hey,
sir.
but he's an offensive tackle, man. That man's 6'7".
Yeah.
Hey, man.
When he talks, I feel like I should sit up a little bit more. Like yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir. Hold your chest up. Hey, you can't teach size, baby.
No, not at all. But no, it's good to hear about the players because that was definitely something that we've been hearing a lot with the recruits and stuff. So my question is, and this is something definitely fan based more than players based. That's what I want to hear.
Yep.
Do you guys pay attention to, I'm a 3-star, I'm a 4-star, the way the fans go crazy over it? Or is it just kind of like you said, hey, I'm going to Bama, I'll get a chance to improve, and it really doesn't matter, what my situation going in?
Really what people say is the stars are for the people who sit at bars, so like the people who look at the stars and judge a player off of that before they go and watch the film, like you'll never know how good of a player I am to go watch film. So, that's never been a factor to me. Like if I'm ranked, 40th in the state or 3rd in the state, if I go out there and dominate the 3rd ranked player in the class, then like, what does that make me? You know what I mean? It's like, so, a lot of people, that's what they look at, especially the people who told me I wasn't going to play. Like they look at the rank of people who are, going there ahead of me, and they look at who I am. And what I tell people is to, look at the film. Just watch the film and see how dominant I am. And I'm not even trying to hype myself up as a player. That's just the fact of it. It's like every play is somebody's on the ground, and like it doesn't matter what my stars say. I know who I am as a player and as a person, so I'm not worried about that.
Hey, bro, confidence and cocky is 2 different things, but that's confident right there. That ain't, when people say what they want, man, that just sounds like confidence to me. And you got to believe in yourself before anybody else will, especially if you're going to the University of Alabama. You have to buy in to yourself. Also, something that's a little bit off topic, but on topic too, because we're talking about Alabama. Your name being Bear too, with what ties to the University of Alabama, that's a good NIL name to have too.
Yeah.
Something to think about down the road right there, bro. That could help you out. It could be a little bit, but that could be something that could help you out too. But I want to talk about a little bit less Bama when I say this. What's your current team right now look like, and how do you guys feel about that?
You know, the team right now is a lot of great chemistry. You know, we might not have the best players. You know, we might be lacking in some positions, but I feel like us as a team is more of a team than like a bunch of players put together. So, you know, I think we are set to have a great year this year. We have a lot of great coaches that have really put a great scheme together. We have an all-state running back coming back, all-state. Y'all know Adrian Peterson, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
His son is playing on our team, and he's
Oh, okay.
What's he play?
He plays quarterback and defensive back.
Okay.
And we run that triple option
interesting.
too. So he's definitely a guy that people are going to need to watch. But you know, I feel like this year we have a great chance of making it to the fourth.
Is he a senior as well this year?
No, he's in the 27 class.
Okay, so he'll be a junior this year, so he'll be getting looked at next year.
Sure.
And that'll lead me to a question right here that I like to ask a lot of offensive line when I get them on. We had this debate. Actually, the night in live before you got on, we were talking about this. But and this is a question I wonder right here, offensive lineman wise. Is there a preference or not when it goes to blocking for quarterbacks? Like, do you like a pocket style? Do you like the scrambling quarterback? And in your case right now with the triple option, it sounds like they're doing a lot of movement. Oh, well, they're going left, right. They're doing some blocking. You do a lot of run blocking more than pass blocking. So I'm wondering, what is something that you like, or is it even a preference for all offensive linemen, or or do you have one?
So really, you know, all these players that go to camps and they block for a stationary bag, you know what I mean? They block for somebody who knows they're going to be 7 yards off the ball. That's way different than a quarterback that's going to be stepping up into the pocket. So there's a bunch of that. But really, I feel like if you only train with a bag that stands still going against other players at camps, you're not going to be, you know, that's not – you know what I mean? Because you don't know. And I feel like if you're blocking for a scramble quarterback, you need to have great chemistry there because you need to know who your quarterback is as a player. But, you know, if your quarterback's a pocket passer, it's easier to know where he is. You know, for me personally, I like to block for my quarterback, a scrambler. He's very, very fast on his feet, and I know what he wants to do, you know. So I feel like for me personally, I want to block my quarterback.
You know, you could be locked up on a guy, and if your quarterback goes that way and you don't know it, but the lineman doesn't, you're holding them because he went, you know. So that's why I kind of asked that. We were talking about that. And then I don't know if you saw the rule about the defensive lineman this year in the SEC about movement. If the defensive line shifts and the offensive line moves at all or now it's going to be on the defensive line. So now it's going to be a thing to where when the defensive line shifts, offensive linemen are going to move on purpose. Now you get free 5 yards.
Really?
So now you're going to I don't know if you saw SEC Media Days, they were talking about it. And that's something that they're pushing hard this year. And I think that's going to be crazy because the little stunts the defensive line do pre-snap. So I think they're going to try to wind that down. I don't know how big of an effect that's going to have. But I do want to pull up Jay Walker's question real quick in the comments. He had a question for you. Where did the nickname Bear come from, or is that your actual name?
Yeah, that is my actual birth name.
Always like middle name?
No, that's my first name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, so I haven't always been big. I used to be real skinny and small. So I used to tell people to call me by my middle name, which is William. So yeah, Bear's that's my name. Like
okay.
Wow.
But now
William is his
6'7".
school name and Bear is his football name.
Yeah, I'm about to say, but now you 6'7", 203, 290 right there, So yeah, you up there now, bro. You ain't gotta worry about that.
Definitely fit the description.
Yeah, definitely good now, bro. And so that's awesome there, bro. And then one thing I ask everybody that comes on.
Yep.
And we had Willie on last week. Willie gave his prediction, as you can know what if you know Roll Tide Willie, then you know what he probably gave his record prediction for Alabama.
Yeah, of course.
I want to know your record prediction this year for the Tide. Couple tough games this year. Georgia on the road, South Carolina. We get LSU at home. We got to go to that little devil ground up there in Auburn, and that's going to be interesting as well. How do you feel about the Tide this year?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I've been a Georgia fan my whole life. That's been who I am. But until I got recruited by Georgia, you know, until I was in that, you know, area and I saw who they were. I feel like it feels like kind of a trick question because I'd feel wrong to say anything other than 15-0. You know what I mean? But you know, when you go into the facilities and you see how they work and you see the mindset that they have and the way that they look at every loss they had last year, you know, it's not a biased, you know, decision to me to say 15-0. You know, like whenever you see the culture that they have down there and the way that they play, you know, as a team, is, you know, I'm gonna say 15-0 because I've seen it firsthand. But
I love that. I like how you just said it.
You know what?
Seeing
Bear,
it firsthand.
You like my book. I like that. I like
that, man, because I've seen Georgia firsthand. I've seen Florida.
So, hey, when you said Georgia boy going to Bama Roll Tide, when I saw that, I said, "Oh, this is my type of dude right here."
Yeah.
That was a little bit of salt. That was one of them little.
I felt it too. Georgia's played around with me for a good little minute. You know, they told me to come up to a private workout, ended up being a camp. So they played me there. You know, they kept leading me on in all different types of ways. I'm not talking bad about them. You know, they got to do what they got to do. But, you know, it was just all love at Alabama. You know, like I can go to Alabama, get paid $0, and I wouldn't care if Georgia offered me $2 million. You know, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go anywhere else, you know. And it's like you got to pick the place before you see the money, and that's what I had to do.
Yep. So firm believer in that too, man. Character over everything else, because character is definitely going to be a longer driver than anything else that money can do there. So Bear, let's see real quick, so guys, y'all got anything else for Bear tonight, man?
Well, let me ask you this then. Since the Georgia Bama game is in Athens this year, will you be attending that game with your Alabama gear on Bama side?
You know, Georgia coach reached out to me a few days ago after my game. He was like, "Hey, just wanted to check in with you because it's been about, you know," he didn't talk to me so after I committed to Bama. So, and he was like, "Hey, we want to get you up here for some games." And I was like, and I told my coach that. He was like, "How about you come and visit the Georgia Bama game and see us whip their ass?" So, you know, I might pull up to that game wearing the Bama stuff on the Georgia sideline.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. That's great.
That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded.
Bear, you will be my favorite offensive lineman that we've ever had in life, son. You do some like between the hedges too, baby. And I hope they wear that black. I hope they wear that black. I hope they bring it out, Bear, because you might be a little too young, but back in 2008, boy, we wore them out when they wore that black that night, boy. I'm talking about, what was it, like 38-3 at halftime or something?
Yeah, halftime.
Boy, we let them come back at the end, man, for real. Mm-hmm. But that was a neither here nor there, though. Bear, we glad to have you on, man. Real quick, I'm gonna let you tell people where they can find your social media at, man, and what you got going on, so everybody can find you, follow you as well, and keep in touch with you, brother.
For sure. I do a lot of posting on Instagram. So if y'all go to my Instagram, Bear Fretwell, it's just Bear Fretwell. So y'all go to that. I post a lot. And then y'all request to be on my private. I drop a lot of football stuff on there. So y'all just follow that. And then also my TikTok, I post a lot on there too. And I'm about to start doing that more, especially with having my boy over here helping me promote that stuff. So definitely, but I appreciate y'all a lot for having me on here. You know, in a few years, in the NFL, y'all let me know and I'll hop back on. But
hey, yes, sir.
I like it.
Hey, yeah. So we'll get the exclusive interview with Bear pre-draft as he's walking out. No, man, dude, I know I speak for everybody on this panel right here and everybody in this chat too, as Bama fans, that we wish the best upon you, brother. We wish the best upon your family, everything like that, man. And you know, wonderful season this year, a healthy season this year. Hope you guys go far, do amazing things, and we're going to be watching you. We can bring you back on right after your season, and we can talk about that as well, man. And then we can talk about kind of what's going on with the Tide at that point. Touch back in with you. Glad to have you on, man. And everybody, make sure y'all follow Bear.
Appreciate you, Bear.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes,
so
sir.
y'all let me know if y'all need anything.
Thank you for having on.
Great
Hey, Bear,
having you,
we're
bro.
gonna get you on some TikTok lives too, brother. When I get on there and go live, we're gonna talk.
That sounds good.
I'm gonna get
Y'all
you on
just
some
let
of
me
them
know.
too. Yes, sir. We'll see you, brother.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So, guys, that was that man Bear Fretwell, and that man, offensive tackle, class 2026. Awesome dude. As you can tell right here, kind of gave a little bit of tea gave a little bit of tea
Y'all,
right there.
y'all get that man to try. Y'all got to stop this now. I gotta stop
that's
this.
that's crazy.
Gave a little bit of tea, but hey, you know what I'm saying? That's cool though. That's cool
It is
though.
what it is, bro.
It is what it is. Hey, and it's real. It's real. It's how he feels. It's real. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real thing. And we'll see how it goes. We're gonna get right into it, guys. Jam Miller injury update. Where are we at with it right now, guys? Everybody I've seen from 112 weeks, he'll never play football again, to he's out for 1 game, he's out for 2 games, out for 3 games, 4 games. I've seen all the diagnosis. You know, I've seen them all. Okay, so when you actually look at it, though, this man injured that collarbone very, very badly, whether it's a break, a fracture, sprain, however they've worded all these different words of things, guys. Collarbone is one of the most gruesome injuries you can have. It's right there. It's not a rib injury. Obviously, as you know, ribs is very painful because you breathe, cannot, not breathe. But it is right here where a lot of neck movement, a lot of movement goes on. You got to be very careful there. And a running back at that, too, that uses these to hit, So, what does that mean, though? What does that mean? I'm going to let the panelists break this down, guys. Who we got up next? What do things look like for the Tide right now? We got Richard Young. We got Dre Washington, Daniel Hill, A.K. Deer's probably going to get some burn here. Kevin Riley's in this room too, guys. I expect A.K. Deer to get some uptick as well with Daniel Hill. But, JB, I'm going to let you kind of talk us through this one, man. How we feeling, man? Jam Miller goes down, probably out till mid-October, late October.
Well, I wouldn't go far with saying how long he's going to be out. But what I will say, it's disappointing, very disappointing. You don't want injuries like this. And, we've heard about other guys injured. I see somebody want to update on Roberts and James Smith. We'll get to that later. Mm-hmm. But those are not serious injuries. This right here, when you have to have surgery to repair it, that's an injury. It's a difference from being hurt and injured. Hurt, you banged up. You can come back maybe a week or 2. Injured, you're going to be out for a while. So we wish Jam Miller the best. It's kind of for the running backs that's in the running back room, this is an opportunity for those guys to step up. We mentioned Richard Young. We was talking about him a lot during the offseason, being fighting for carries and being possible running back 1A, 1B type of thing. We heard a lot about Daniel Hill lately. He's big, he's bulked up, he's juiced up, ready to go. So you're gonna look at Richard Young and Daniel Hill to come out being that 1-2 punch, but also a guy like Draylon Washington. He coming in from Louisiana, transferred, and we said a lot about him in the summer. He didn't come here to sit on the bench. He came here to play. So I mean, you got 5 guys in that locker room. You mentioned that. That's gonna be fighting for opportunity and reps. So if you're looking at right now, you're probably looking at Richard Young and Daniel Hill to carry that load until Jam comes back. I don't know how long that's gonna be, but I will say this too before I pass it on. It's gonna be difficult on Ty Simpson. I'm saying this because you want a running back with experience like Jam Miller. A pass blocker and a pass catcher. Jam is a do-it-all back. Mm-hmm. The numbers may not look like, he didn't have the best numbers last season, but he can pass catch, he can pass block, he can run, he can do it all in the backfield. So now you're going to look at guys like Richard Young and Daniel to see, okay, can you guys do everything that Jam Miller can do? Or can we have a guy who can pass block better and then a guy who can pass catch better? So we only got 13 days to figure this out. Florida State, we got to go down to Tallahassee. We can look at Florida State and say they were 2-10 last year, and we're going to stump a mud hole in them. But I guarantee you they're going to be ready for Alabama. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to be focused And as running backs, they're going to have to be focused too, because you cannot let Ty Simpson go in that territory. First game of the season, starting on the road with running backs out of position, not picking up blitzes, and not catching the ball on a wheel route. So it's going to be very pivotal that first game to see what running back stands out.
Well, JB, good thing that our offensive line is really good, and experienced. Therefore, the running backs probably going to have to pick up the blitzes, and hopefully, we're not going to be throwing the ball 50 times a game like that. We can still run the ball because Young's still plenty good to have 15 carries a game, mixed with some Daniel Hill with 10, mixed in with some Washington and AK Deer. I'm going to bring that name up for you guys. I'm going to let Damo go in a second. But AK Deer, obviously a true freshman, not forgetting about Kevin Riley either. But number one running back last year's recruit, really good guy, really shifty. Alvin Kamara-like. I'm not saying he is an Alvin Kamara running back. I'm not going to compare him like that, but like running back. Obviously, we have not seen him in D1. Don't know exactly what the pass blocking may be or how he can read that type of stuff, the coverages like that. But that'll be interesting to see as well and develop, because I think AK Deer could possibly get some burn here too. But I do think what JB said, Daniel Hill and Richard Young will be now probably the 1A, 1B. Daniel Hill probably being more of the physical type of running back.
Like short yardage back type.
And Richard Young, I wouldn't say he's the explosive one. He's fast and quick, but he is going to be more of the do-it-all back now versus before. And then Washington, like JB said there too, he didn't come here to chill, bro. And also, I mean, now granted, I know this was at Louisiana where he was when he did this, but 1,300 yards career and then 9 touchdowns. So I mean, he did decent there too. So I think it's gonna be nice to see what he can do at Bama. It's gonna be nice to see him out the backfield some. We're gonna see how this goes. But also I see these coaches rotating guys if we don't get what we like. And that's why I say AK Deer could be one of those guys. So Damo, how do you feel about this running back room?
Well, first getting started on Jam, that's very unfortunate that it happened in his senior year. Especially after he had that great first scrimmage last week. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that he's doing well, mentally, you know what I'm saying, because we don't know what he's dealing with, you know what I'm saying, even as though he's the one that's going through it. So I definitely am saying a prayer and get well thoughts for him. As far as running back room, like JB said, it's going to be Richard Young and Daniel Hill. But I feel like, as a group, as a whole, they're going to all have to band together, you know what I'm saying, and pick up that weight with Jan Miller being out, because Jam Miller was going to be a big part of this offense going into the season. You know what I'm saying? So losing Jam for how many games we lose him for, that's going to be a big hit. So those guys are going to have to put their best foot forward, come together as brothers, as teammates, you know what I'm saying? One band, one sound, and pick it up for him until he gets back.
I like that, one band, one sound. Herb, while he's sipping on that go-go gadget juice right there, hit us with this running back. Yeah, hit us with this running back rundown. I'm still on that high-quality H2O, baby.
I think, first off, there's no, everyone's trying to be optimistic. There's no great way to spend losing your lead running back 2 weeks before your first game, So that's, for the team and for him, that's unfortunate, especially going into his senior year. I think time-wise, that bye that you have before the Georgia game all of a sudden becomes huge for you. Now you've got 3 weeks to kind of see what you've got. I understand Florida State's going to maybe come at you a little bit different, but I think we all agree we're still, talent-wise, we're better than Florida State and better than, obviously Louisiana Monroe, Wisconsin. So you've got 3 weeks to really kind of figure out the rest of your stuff, in case Jam is not ready for Georgia, because that's the one you've got to look towards. I honestly think Draylon Washington. So one of the concerns that you've been reading, and even I think had a couple questions over there, pass protection. We know last year that was kind of an issue, maybe why certain backs didn't get to play as much because of that. I feel like Draylon Washington, with the most senior of the group and who, most experience, will probably be a guy to step up in more situations. I also think that's a guy that, like we said, he didn't come here to sit. So the transfer, he's the person I look more to get a little bit bumped up. I think we already knew what Richard Young was going to be. And Daniel Hill already had several goal line and third down situations he was already set up for. So I think Draylon Washington actually is going to step up. And I feel like, to those points of AK Deer, I think like a Louisiana Monroe, or Layton, hopefully Layton, Florida State and Wisconsin is where you might see a guy like that. So that's kind of how I look at the – oh, and also Coach DeBoer did mention this fact that Daniel Hill's getting much better at pass catching, a very underrated part of his game. Don't rule him out in those kind of situations as well. So I think it's definitely the first three guys for sure, but I look for Draylon Washington to step up big in his absence.
Yeah. Washington also, something I was just looking up right here. In some of his scouting reports, they says likely to compete for early down reps, brings pass protection experience.
Yes.
So reading in some of his recruiting stuff, pass protection experience right there. And you're good at running the ball. Anybody's like, yeah, I want him. I will take 3 of him on my team right now. Because you want guys that can block for your quarterback. And not just that, man, when you run sweeps or jets and they swing out, or you line them up in the slot and they got a block out there when a guy catches the ball. That's a big deal. It's part of it. AK Deer, good point to look there, Herb, when you said Louisiana Monroe. I also would not – so I think it's kind of like when you got a quarterback battle, right? And then – you don't know what way to go, so you give both guys some reps. I think this FSU game, you're going to see running backs by committee because we're going to want to see what's under the hood a little bit more. It's like, okay, we just lost where we were probably banking on 65 to 70% of our rushing this year. Yeah. Like now it's just like, okay, the panic mode a little bit, not a lot. I mean, and it ain't really panic when I say this, where it's like, but it's like, and I mentioned Kevin Riley earlier as well. He's really fast. Kevin Riley's one of the quickest on the team too. At running that running back room. I don't know 40s off my head, but I know he was very, very fast as well. This would have been a nice time, JB, to have that boy Turbo. But he had ended up leaving though. But this would have been a nice time for him to have been there right now But AK Deer is where I sub that in and where I think AK Deer could be the one. So to put a button on it, I'll go ahead.
You remember we was high on AK Deer, when we got him. Yeah, we were very high on AK Deer. And we were looking at the running back room like, dang, who's gonna transfer? Because man, AK Deer's coming in to play. And then when we got Draylon Washington in the portal, I think we got him after the spring game. Yes. And then he comes in, people were questioning that move. This is why you don't question moves, because we did not have experience outside of Jam Miller in that running back room before we got Dre Washington in. We had a bunch of freshmen and sophomore guys. Now we got experience, and I believe Dre Washington is going to be a big part, especially while Jam Miller's out.
Yeah, I agree. Him being a senior too, getting some burn right with that veteran leadership, and then AK Deer. What I mean by him getting some burn, I think you're just going to see him out there some more than he obviously was now. Yeah, there's a little bit of hole opening up for him, where I think he could be playing that Dre Washington role a little bit before now. Like the Washington's going to have a new role now versus there's now his old role. So that's where I think now AK Deer slides in that spot. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Can I give you another?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Draylon actually did come in before the spring, so he was there for the whole spring. As far as I remember us talking about would Kevin Riley leave or not. The other thing about Draylon, if you look at his stats, he didn't carry. I mean, he has 229 carries at 3 years of Louisiana, so he hasn't carried the ball a whole lot. The staff has identified something specific they like in him. You even look at his carries; it's 12 or 13 carries is like the most in a game. So it's not a whole lot. It's more about I think his experience, and they know what he can do versus So he's not running to the ground by any means either, but there's something specific they liked about him to bring him here. Sorry, JT.
No, you're good. I agree. I was going to allude to that and say I think it's the pass protection experience, because when I'm looking at some of the reports right here about recruiting him, a lot of them is pass protection experience. That tells you all you need to know at a running back position right there, baby. Give me 3 of those guys, maybe 4 of those guys before you have somebody that can't block for your quarterback. That's a good one there. JB, before we move on, brother, man, let the people know what they need to have. What they need to have, man. What they need to be slinging around, bro.
I know what I'm gonna have with me, man, when we go to Tallahassee in 13 days.
Yes, sir.
Title towel. So to get yours and support your Crimson Tide each and every week this football season and beyond, go to whitwheelsports.com. Use the promo code STANDARD. Get you a nice discount courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standard.
Make sure y'all guys hit them up today, guys. And also make sure you guys hit up Lampstone, guys. If you ever dreamed of having beautiful natural stone in or around your home, guys, look no further than right here. Check them out at Ani out of Alabama. One of your most trusted sources today in the state. Hit them up, let them know the Bama Standard sent you, and you'll get 10% off your first order right here at realrockstone.com. Hit them up, guys. Hit them up. All right, guys, we're going to hit this next topic. And this one right here is going to be just I want everybody to give like a 45-second to a minute run, like a boom. All right, so perfect timing for Ty. JB, why do you feel like this is a perfect time to announce it when they could have announced this earlier? They could have waited, but they chose to announce it at the time they did. Go.
Well, I look at it as, okay, you want the competition to be fierce, right? You don't want a guy coming in knowing he's 2v1, so he's hot dogging it, or he's not giving his 110% in the practices and the scrimmages. And also you're looking at it, okay, he probably saw enough in that first scrimmage. It's like, man, Ty is really that guy. He's really going to be the leader that we need. And I watched Coach DeBoer at his press conferences after both scrimmages, and he mentioned Ty leadership. So that's very key when you are controlling a huddle. Talent is key, but leadership is definitely when you're coming in, you have to control the team and you have to, be the quarterback, be the point guard of the offense. So I'm rolling with that right there. Leadership for Ty Simpson. Perfect timing. That's my 2 cents.
I like that. Damo, hit us with it, brother.
Yeah, man. Like the coaches have said, they did want him to take full control of that Bama offense before they announced the starter. So that right there is letting us know that he's checked off every box that they have on that list that they want. He's becoming that leader, in the locker room, on and off the field that they want. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like JB said, man, you didn't want the QB battle to dry out. You know what I'm saying? And like Kellen DeBoer said, the very first week, it was very much so, still a QB battle at that point. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they announced it now, it shows that Ty has really taken that job by the horns, bro. He's doing his thing.
Harvey update,
I don't know. That's the most random trash.
Yes, bro. I just like.
I
broke my whole train of thought, bro, when I saw those trees. I was like, where did that even come from, bro? Like, that was literally out of nowhere right there. Herb, how do you feel about the perfect timing for Ty? And Damo, great points right there. And I think how you said it about how the coaching staff approached it and viewed it is a good way right there to look at that too. Herb, what you got, brother?
Yeah, to be clear, those guys, these two had the perfect answers already. The timing is why, they wanted to keep the competition. That's clearly the best one. So I'm also give you, there's probably a little bit of gamesmanship in this as well. Make Florida State keep, putting in packages for Russell with the Mac. Now, they don't have a lot of film on any of those three, but at least in this case, they're like, all right, let me at least, I think we all knew Ty was going to be the guy. I feel like they knew, but there's at least that in the back of their head. Like, okay, if they're still a competition, that means they could throw any one of these guys out at any time. So now our defense, instead of focusing on a guy like Ty Stuss, and say, okay, we got to focus on everybody and have packages for everybody and do that. So probably a little bit of gamesmanship, but no, to be clear, they had the better answers, But that's what I expect from those guys, man. That's why they're great.
Hey, I'll also say when you talk about it with Ty, when they talk about game film, I didn't think about this as much. A lot of the game film they do have is Ty scrambling and whatnot. Right. And Ty has a couple throws, couple different things. Like that pass to Josh Cuevas was a good one he had. Yeah. There's a couple more too over the years, 23 and 24. And they definitely going to probably look at that South Florida game in 23, which is the hiccup game. That was like a unicorn situation. When you're delayed 2.5 hours. And then yes, go back out there and play. That game, JT.
Yeah, nobody gonna look at that game.
They don't have a lot of film on them. I mean, they don't have a lot of film, bro. They don't have a lot of film. So
that's good. It's good. So
I know.
The film you do have on him is in goals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The film they do have isn't even going to be, and also we're going to be talking about north and south of offenses, schemes wise of what's going to be ran with this year versus even last year. Because you're going to see the thing we were missing. It's like we had a peanut butter sandwich last year, and now we're going to add the jelly on it. It's going to be a little bit better now. No pun intended, because Jam going to be back. I'm excited for it. I like the announcement time. I think it was great. And yes, I was a Ty hater at first. I did not think Ty was going to do it. So I do double back down. I have called myself out. I don't wait till other people call me out. JB knows it. I've even said it before. This ain't the first time I've said this. I've already called myself out for it. And I said it then, too. If Ty was ever the guy that came to it, though, I can admit I'm wrong and get behind the guy. Unlike these people couldn't with Milroe. All right. Now, I'm not saying that's either here nor there with what happened. I'm not saying that. I'm more or less saying that people still couldn't even get behind them. And, like, that's part of it. Like, I'm behind Ty. Ty's the guy. I'm excited. Also, this ain't on our agenda tonight, but the junior safety just left FSU last week, and that was one of their main safeties. Ty for 450, baby. Give me Ty for 450. Hey, and also, I almost saved it, bro, but on Pat McAfee the other day, their show had Ty Simpson at the 5th highest odds to win the Heisman. I said top 5 on a hot take, just so y'all know.
Hey, JT, I do want to add this, though, that Florida State DC did come out a few days ago and say that the defense they were not ready to be right now. So that's something right there to look out for as well.
Yeah, that is true. You said you ain't got to be his biggest fan. No, I ain't his biggest fan, bro. I ain't saying it like that. I'm just sport a team, bro. Right with who's next. That boy said, "What's next?" Blackberry Mountain Dew. They have a midnight Mountain Dew at Taco Bell right now, which is basically the blackberry version. Just so you know, bro, you can go check it out. It's real good too.
This man need to get paid.
One more topic, guys, before we answer these questions. And that last topic tonight, guys, is something I wanted to talk about. We'll probably spend the next 8-ish so minutes talking about this. But wide receivers and DBs, the depth, not just necessarily about the wide receivers and DBs, but the depth we have is when we talk about depth, what did we just talk about a minute ago with running backs? We're talking about depth. And we haven't even played one game yet. So wide receivers and DBs go hand in hand. The better our wide receivers are when they practice again, our DBs practice again, they get better, vice versa. The better DBs are, the wide receivers get better. So he said, JT trying to get a Taco Bell indoor. Hey, bro, if they give me the Mountain Dew, well, I don't know. I'm not trying to relapse. I'm trying to relapse on the Dew. But the Bama wide receiver and DB depth is insane, guys. I think we have guys that could go. Our 2 backup cornerbacks could go somewhere else and start and be elite and play lights out somewhere else. And that probably goes for our safeties too. So I'll let Damo kick us off tonight. Damo, how do you feel about this depth at Alabama at wide receiver and DB?
I think that is a great problem to have. And
in my opinion, if I had to ask you at the end of this, give me which one you think has the best depth.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that is a great problem to have. You know what I'm saying? Because you can take one off the field, you know what I'm saying, and replace it with someone else and not see a drop off at all. You know what I'm saying? So not many, teams can go like 5-6 receivers deep, or 5-6 DBs deep and still see the same level of play. So I think that is a great problem to have. And like you said, we got many guys in both rooms that can go and start other places. You know what I'm saying? So if I could pick one that's the deepest, I would actually say the receiver room. You know what I'm saying? Because we got guys behind, Ryan Williams, Jeremy, and Zay that can see time too. With of course, Rico Scott and Jalen Hill and Bakway, Cole Adams, who I think is going to be a secret weapon for us. You got Derek Meadows as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the receiver room as the deepest out of the 2.
I like that answer. Herb, I ain't gonna let you go last now. I'm gonna let you go right now.
Well,
I'm gonna let JB.
My answers are always going to be offense. Always going to be offense. But I'm just looking at our depth chart, and depending on which way you feel on it. If you started right now, Rico Scott, Jalen Hale, and Latier Brooks, you feel pretty confident in that lineup, right?
Yeah.
And that's each one of those guys is behind somebody else. You know what I mean? So just off the top, I feel like that's great. Cole Adams, probably, underrated at this point. That's somebody we were really high on coming out of A-Day last year. You mentioned Derek Meadows looked great at this year's whatever A-Day it was. Both sides are great. Don't get me wrong. I think Dijon Lee, even not starting, is going to be a force on the other side. But I think the wide receivers, you could send them out in waves and not really miss a step with that group. So I think in particular, Hale and just the three guys I just mentioned are people a lot of people are high on, and those aren't even your starters. So
I like that. Like a good point there. JB, what you cooking up there, brother?
I'm gonna disagree with both of y'all. Say the DB room has the most depth because let's look at the wide receiver room.
Right. Somebody had to be wrong. That's fine.
Yeah, y'all are wrong. So let's look at this. Okay, looking at Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and Isaiah Horton as the top 3 wide receivers in that room. And you guys mentioned Jalen Hale coming back from injury. Cole Adams, who was banged up, he was injured. He's coming back. Rico Scott didn't get a lot of playing time. Derek Meadows, who's a true freshman. Who else we got in there? We got Hampton in there, true freshman. So and then Jalen Bachway, who changed positions. Lasier Brooks, true freshman. So we don't have a lot of experience in the depth room outside of the top 3 guys. So, but we can go to DBs, and I'm looking at my safeties. I'm looking at Keon Sabb. I'm looking at Bray Hubbard. I'm looking at Xavier Mincy. I'm looking at Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. You mentioned what do we mention? Xavier Brown and Damani Jackson. Red Morgan is there, and you still got Deshaun Jones. We got Cam Calhoun, and I'm probably forgetting somebody. Dijon. And I probably still forgot somebody. So I just feel like, man, that secondary is special, man. It's special because if you're looking at this safety group, and we talked about the safety group, we talked about Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard, Mincy coming in that safety room, and look how big those guys are. We got 6'3", 6'4" guys back. That's really an advantage to have when you're going against wide receivers who are, you got big wide receivers. You match up well when you have 6'3", 6'4" guys back there. Wide receivers, yes, I'm excited about the wide receivers, but we have a guy go down. Somebody's got to come in and step up and be a starter, not just a rotational guy. You're gonna have to be a starter. God forbid we lose a Germ or Ryan or somebody like that. So it's big shoes to fill. But I feel more comfortable that if a cornerback goes down, we have another guy who can fit right in. Just like last year, we saw those freshmen play. We saw Xavier Brown grow up last year playing. Those guys were on the field playing. Even Mbakwe was playing. So I feel more comfortable with the DBs than I do with the wide receivers if you tell me to pick a side.
So to the guys at the bottom, I'm with JB. Not so fast. Them DBs something else, man. Now, Dijon Lee, we're going to talk about what happened at this second scrimmage game right here. Talking with Justin, had some insiders at the game talking about things here. And to allude with what JB was pointing at there, there was a pass thrown. Dijon Lee breaks the pass up, caused them to kick a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown on the drive because he was disrupting the passes. They're saying that the defensive line looks good. I saw some questions about the offensive line in here, about form me and stuff. We'll answer those in a minute, but I will touch on the offensive line as a whole unit. They look great as well in this scrimmage. But when you ask me right now about the DB or the wide receiver, I'm going DB deeper, and the reason why is exactly what JB said. Now, I know you can say that the wide receiver in the same sense. This is a great problem to have and a great debate to have as well. But we're talking, Red Morgan, Xavier Mincy, Jackson and Brown will probably start. So Dijon Lee, I'm having a brain fart right now. Safety.
You talking about the backups?
Yeah. I was going all the backups. I was going to name the backups.
I mean, we forget about Cam Calhoun too.
Cam Calhoun.
dog.
God, that's what I was thinking of. Cam
dog,
Calhoun.
bro.
Cam Calhoun. That's exactly what I was thinking of. And that right there is the exact reason. And Deshaun Jones, I know you mentioned him already too. Those are guys behind a guy like he named the ones that were behind those guys. These are guys behind a guy that could go anywhere else and could play and start and would be great. So that's something to look at too. From said JT been on 72 hours. I ain't been on 72 hours, bro. I ain't been on 72 hours. But
Ivan Taylor, Ike Taylor's son, man.
Yes, Taylor. Taylor's gonna be another one too. Dre, I almost said Dre Washington, bro. I meant to say Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., bro. I was about to say Ron Washington, or Ron Dre. But that's another one to look at, guys. We got guys also that'll probably be redshirted in that room too right now that came in last year that are really great too. And we got some guys coming in this class that'll be great for the DB room too. I'm excited to see this defense and how it's going to develop. And what.
But you know what? This is a great discussion to be having for us to be split on DBs and wide receivers, because you know what that means? Iron is sharpening iron. Yeah. So it's a great discussion to have, and great words that Coach DuBois says in the press conferences, talking about how the DBs are breaking up, stopping drives and things like that, because we're going to need that when we go up against certain caliber quarterbacks like the Nussmeyers and all those guys like that. You're going to need those DBs.
And the Auburn luck that they're going to have in Jordan Hare, them lucky little plays, bro, where the ball get tipped up and a fan headbutts it to a player or something, man. I know how it be.
I also want to add to that, JB, because with the emphasis that these guys they're putting on getting DBs and receivers, into this class as well. Our wide receiver and DB room both will be set, for years to come. So that's a great situation to be in as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a good problem to have, guys. Put a button on that one right there. Great problem to have to end the whole story. So I don't think none of us are wrong. It's a great problem to have. It's a great debate to have, guys. Alabama is probably the deepest at wide receiver and DB in the whole country, or definitely can argue it with anybody. At least right now. We'll see that'll change, obviously as we see performance. But I think both of these groups will perform for the Tide and be great as well. Now, we'll talk about this next week, but we're going to have official predictions next week, guys. We're going to do a game preview. We normally don't do as much game previews on here because we're more of a recap because we're right after. But next week we will, because obviously we got the first game coming up. Damo's going to be on with us permanently now, guys. If you missed that at the beginning of the show, he is part of the Talk'n Bama crew now. He is part of the brotherhood here at the Bama Standard, and it is nothing but the Tide. Now, we're about to get into some questions and answers right here at the end. Herbo gonna pull them up. I'll kick us. JB next, Damo third, Herb 4, and we'll just keep that pattern going. And we'll try to get these out real quick. Who will be RB1? S. Young or D. Hill? Give me Young, probably RB1, but I don't think Hill is far behind. I think both of them probably. If you're telling me at the end of Florida State game, one of them had 15 carries, the other one had 12 to 13. I think that's what the split's looking like. Does it matter who gets the first one? I don't think it does as much. But I do think now you can look at obviously garbage time versus prime time. But when I say these carries, I'm saying they're all going to be a meaningful rep, first team type reps. Here I think these guys get about the equal carries. Obviously, Hot Hand can carry that too. But if you ask me right now, give me Young, but Hill is on his heel. Like, no pun intended there. JB, hit this next one, bro.
Ready. There you go.
What we got? Shouts out to I Believe Crimson. Any update on Jaden Roberts, James Smith? I believe Coach DuBois said Jaden Roberts had a concussion. James Smith did not practice. He's a little nicked up, but if we had to guess, I think both of those guys will be ready week 1. Just guessing, not knowing for sure. But both are banged up, hurt, but not quote unquote injured, if that means it.
Yep.
We'll get you the next one there, Domo.
Hey, listen. Kevin, listen, he is the one that doesn't really get talked about a lot.
Right.
I don't want to say he's gonna get like overshadowed, you know what I'm saying? But it's for me personally, it's hard to see where he will get, you know, on the field at, you know what I'm saying, especially with those first two spots already being taken up by Young and Hill, and then we're expecting AK to see the field as well. Then you got Dre, who these guys said that he's very experienced, so we're gonna use him too as well. So for me personally, it's hard to see where Kevin Riley will get his in-game reps at.
Hey, Domo, he could be the dark horse. A lot of people not really talking about Kevin Riley, but you know he's been there longer than AK did. He was there last year. Kevin Riley was getting garbage time carries. He scored a touchdown, so he could possibly see some burn before AK did.
That he could. Yep. That he could. Pull this next one up. This one you heard.
Let's talk. I'd rather not. Let's just say we've been spoiled the last 2 or 3 years, and I mean, if we heard worse about our kicker before we heard about the jam injury. Let's just say that much. There was way more reports about the kicker. So when you say let's talk about a kicker, let's just not. Let's just
hey, Herb, and we can talk about DeBoer trying to put the fire out when they was asking about it in the press conference, whatever. It was like, oh yeah, not bad. You know, today was just kind of, you know, but it's been good up until today. I thought that was funny when I heard that. I was like, oh God.
I mean,
he's trying to put the fire out, bro.
He said a lot without saying a lot, basically.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, bro, if you out there missing kicks with no wind, no rain, I mean, perfect football weather, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Let's hope
this one says JB, but this is actually a question for you, JT.
Oh it's JT, not JB. I saw a video talking about Firebound Court. Yeah. So listen, man, you got, like I said in the video, you got to do what you got to do to get a natty. You understand me? You see this right here? You see this? You got to do what you got to do to get a natty. All right. Don't break eye contact. We'll get a natty. No, man. Hey, shout out to everybody. All right. So I do a lot of TikTok stuff with my wife. JT the Bama fan is like it's a character we do. It's pretty funny. And some of the comments are hilarious on there. But the one on TikTok is my favorite. There's probably 500 comments of the best people in the world that are on there. And they're the best comments ever. And they're super funny. That's the side of the internet I do like because they get a joke when it's a joke. But I am crazy. You know, got to do things to get the natty, baby. You know, hey, we ain't done yet. There's more videos coming too. We got some stuff tucked up the sleeve, baby.
I respect it, man. I respect it for sure.
Hey, JB was all this right here started because of the JT the Bama fan without me even knowing like that character. It's just something I did. And it blew up. And JB, I was going back to that video. I still got it pinned on my X account. And I scrolled to the comments. You're like the third comment, bro. That's the first time we interacted. Because you was like, roll tide, bro, or something like that. And I was like, hell yeah. Something. I was like, see, yeah. Going back to the origin right there, baby. But yeah. Pull the next one up, though, Herbo. JB, I'll let you get this one, bro.
How did Formby do during the scrimmage? Concerned about the right tackle? Well, I wasn't at the scrimmage. I
did hear from scrimmage, bro. I did hear it was good. The O-line didn't hear directly about formally. Did hear the O-line is doing really, really good though from scrimmage.
Yeah. So yeah, like JT just mentioned, you know, we wasn't there, but hearing the O-line was good. And I mention this each and every week, man. The O-line has to all be on one accord. You want all 5 guys to be solid. You know, we can look at a guy and say, oh, Proctor's supposed to be the best tackle in the country, but you also you want your right tackle to be good too, right? Because we know we had troubles with the right tackle position last year. We don't want that this year. So I just hope all 5 guys can work on one accord and protect the quarterback and block for the running backs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there a chance? I'm guessing you're talking about Jam Miller.
Jam Miller, yes, sir.
Jam Miller, okay. Is there a chance he's back for the Georgia game? Because Georgia game. Kirby's gonna blitz, especially with the line. honestly, with injuries like that, like you could say one thing and it be another. So I personally won't put a timetable on his injury. Like Herb said earlier, that bye week before the Georgia game is going to be really crucial. You know what I'm saying? So if he is back for the Georgia game, I would love that. You know what I'm saying? But if he's not, I would not be surprised because collarbone injuries do take a while, to heal up,
Yeah.
and you certainly don't want to put him out there before the injury is healed up because it could get hurt even worse than it already is.
Yep.
Do you guys remember
Especially
Jalen
against
Waddle
Georgia.
in the national championship game a couple years ago? Jalen Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember when he came in and he caught that pass and he was hobbling and everybody was flipping out thinking he was still hurt? It wasn't that he was still hurt. It's the fact he has not used that ankle in that way and that speed in so long, and now he's over-exaggerating. His body's like, what are you doing? And that's why he was scared to use it. And they even spoke about that. They had a medalist. I'm not coming up with that either. That was a doctor coming out that does surgeries on ankles and specializes in sports stuff. And he was basically stating that like his body right now is getting used to using the ankle. So Jam's going to have to, even if he's back at Georgia game, limited carries, 5 probably the most. Like you don't give him a lot. Then you got to see when you get hit.
Yeah.
How we are. What's the next day like after that injury too? Because you got to take care of yourself here too. Jam's young though, so when I say young, early 20s, he'll be able to bounce back.
Definitely.
A little bit better, I believe.
Well, really makes one.
Definitely don't want to hurt him anymore.
Definitely.
No. Well, that's a tough one to have your first game be Georgia, even off the bye. Like that's a tough game. If they were all in a foot race, I'm probably gonna put my money on AK Deer. I know that probably doesn't help you for this question.
Him or Kevin Riley? I'd take.
I haven't seen Kevin Riley in forever, so that would be that'd be a good one. I just remember watching Deer at A-Day and stuff, and just looking up his 40 times. I'd probably take Deer. Is it bad that our first 2 answers are the guys at the bottom of the depth chart? What does that tell you about?
They're just fast. They're fast guys.
What does that tell you about Jam and what we're missing then? So that's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Jam's good, but also those guys at the bottom, though, man, are the quick, elusive guys too, though. What's the thoughts on this?
Cat, how we doing, Cat? How we doing?
Cat, there you go, Cat. Mustard, no Drake. I'm just playing. But no, what I've saw and heard, I spoke about it earlier, but the scrimmage game, we'll loop back to that. Breaking up passes, have one where he broke up that led the team to actually making a short field goal. The field goal was made, though. To loop back to the kicker question as well. The field goal was made, but Dijon got his hand in there and broke up passes. They're saying that he is getting PT. I wouldn't say he's starting. He's getting reps. So I think they're trying to see how things are going with that. And I think that's going to be very interesting to see going forward what they do with Dijon in the game. I think it's going to be cool to see what it looks like in Florida State. Also, what it looks like week 1 versus what it looks like when we play Auburn. What I mean by that is how much PT is he getting this week versus then? You could work them in where it could be more packages where you use more DBs and you slide a guy down into a different spot and whatever, bandit and different, the different wordages they use of this defense. They can move guys around, so like Bray obviously could come down to somewhat of I wouldn't say he's a linebacker, but he could fill in a role-ish, kind of like Landon Collins used to do. Landon Collins could come down and play that hybrid role right there. I think Bray could, and there you could add another DB back there too to help out. It depends, different packages for different things. But I think you're definitely going to see him out there. That right there, guys, is going to wrap up the show. Before we get to announcing everybody's stuff, I do want to do this before I forget. Tuesday night, the Bama Standard has Reuben Foster on, guys, former Alabama legend, number 10 on the field, the biggest hitter of all time. Well, I can't say of all time, but at least my lifetime, all right? At minimum my lifetime. This man would knock your clock and then pick your socks and put your head over it, dog. I'm talking about this man come down the field diving. Pow, pow, pow. Bro, I ain't never in my life seen I remember that time, bro, and Leonard Fournette, did the ball like that, and they're like, he picked it up or whatever. Right when he looked up, boy, I'm talking, it was like a torpedo missile. Boom!
Man,
And Deshaun Watson helicopter.
Yeah, that hit right there. Yeah,
boy,
knocked the shin strap loose, boy. I was like, oh man.
Reuben Foster was a man amongst boys. He reminds me of a little bit bigger Rolando McClain. Because McClain was like that too. I don't know if people remember him back from 06, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. I think that was the years he was at Bama. So yeah, real quick though, guys, let the people know where you at, what you got going on, JB. I know you have a lot going on, bro. Let the people know, man.
Yes, sir, man. Got a lot going on, but y'all can find me here Sunday night Talk'n Bama with the guys. Welcome in Domo as a permanent co-host. Shouts out to him, JT Herb. You can also find me on X at young_ENT_, on Instagram at Sports Talk JB, and go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to Sports Talking with JB. We're back in football mode, back in full effect. For all your Alabama State content, holler at your boy. Go subscribe. Sports Talking with JB.
All right, guys. Damo, let the people know what you got going on, man.
Well, thank you to these guys for making me an official part of the Talk'n Bama family. Okay, so you can find me here every Sunday night with these great fellas. Okay. And let me say this, along with the best co-host and my guy Herb right here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can find me on TikTok at Domo Reacts. Okay, that's DOMO_reacts. I'm gonna keep pushing out this content as the season gets here. I will be at the South Carolina game again. So if you see me out there, I'll love to, put you in a video or do something with you. And okay, if you follow me on TikTok, okay, I will be doing jersey giveaways, throughout the season. All right. So that right there is something that you guys will not want to miss out on for sure.
Hey, what's up? Since you said that, bro, your 4 seconds on the intro now is cut to like 1.2. Since Herb is like that, so we'll just go ahead and chop that up. I'll add me and JB in that those other couple seconds, slide us up a little more. We'll cut Herb back a little bit too.
It's rough around these parts, huh?
Herb, man, what you got going on? Let the people know.
Oh man, Herb and Raj podcast, man. You can find us every Tuesday night. After you're done watching the Bama Standard, hop on over to us, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're doing our SEC breakdown, everybody but Bama, this next week. And then our Bama preview will be the same week as we do it on here. So you can go find us there, find all our videos. And then on X or Twitter at Raj_Herb. So appreciate y'all, fellas. Domo, good to have you, man.
Yeah, man. And as we close out tonight, guys, we're forming into basically year 2 of Kalen DeBoer, but also year 2 of Talk'n Bama. Basically season 2 for us. We've had the off seasons, what I would call what's been going on. We're getting into the season mode here. I mentioned it earlier, guys. JB initially started Talk'n Bama. I was going to go on his podcast and do this segment. Then me and JB started doing it on TikTok. Almost similar to what you were doing as well, man. We were doing something. Me and JB was doing stuff like that. And then we eventually found our way here on the Bama Standard. And this show is really great. Does a lot. Love the fans that have attracted to the show that come every Sunday in the chat with us, guys. You guys interact. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching us. We don't act like we know anything more than anybody else. We are super in-tech fans. Love college football, love Alabama football even more. And we don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, all right? We're going to head out tonight, guys. Make sure you follow me on all social media at IamJGlaze. And follow me on TikTok at Roll Tide Nation, guys. Got some great things in store right there. Title towel, guys. Make sure you get them as well, guys. We're out, guys. Have a good night. Roll Tide, baby. 13 days away.
Let's go.